in light of what's happened in the last few years in the movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, how would you respond to a comment if somebody says, but all lives matter or white lives matter? Because I've actually had this conversation with somebody before.
I think, like, from my experiences, people aren't educated and they don't understand what Black Lives Matter means. I've had to explain it even to some Black people, like, no, it doesn't mean that only Black Lives Matter are important. It means that Black Lives Matter are important too. Like, everybody is important. So I think I would start off by explaining that, and just like with police brutality going on in North America, especially like targeting Black people, that's why this movement has become. But it doesn't mean we don't think other races are like important or their lives aren't important. Just to like, I really think people are confused by that. So definitely hammering that.
I just want to pick up on what Jessica was saying, because, well, for me too, it's two types of responses. If someone says, you know, all lives matter, I might actually just say, yes, I agree. And for all lives to matter, Black lives have to matter too.
Exactly.
And that only, there's this mystery word only that keeps appearing in people's minds, in some people's minds, that it's something that you're supposed to be better than. But if the white lives matter, that for me would be a very different response. I might spend some time trying to understand a little bit more of where they're thinking, but honestly, Troy, there's times you have to watch your energy in certain types of engagement, and if you've already reached this point that your purpose is either to rile me up or have me behave in some stereotypical way of being angry, and I might just disconnect from that conversation. I might make some points, but I'm not gonna want to give that person the satisfaction to, you know, triumph, all lives matter and prove my point. I've proved my point.
That's right.
So I find it depends very much on the context, where sometimes you can have a conversation, other times you might have to just
step away.
Step back.
That's a good point, and that's right. And you made a good point about, we're not here to prove anything, and if you've gotten to that point in the conversation, you can't change that person's mind. So you have to be selective about the conversations you engage in. And Omar, I think you have something to say.
From an EDI perspective, and in an ideal world, all lives matter, right? So that's a no-brainer. But for those people who say they have problems with the Black Lives Matter, the statement itself, just look at the recent Toronto police report in 2020.
Yes.
And it came out that they said that the way that the law enforcement engage with Black communities, Indigenous communities, and other communities of color is heavy and it's disproportionate. So part of the reason why you see so many African and other people of color in problems with the legal system is because they're over-policed. Too much attention is paid for them. Even in a school where a child might wear clothing that you think is maybe inappropriate or behave in a certain manner, it is not dealt with consistent with the way they deal with other cultures. The police gets involved, and Black people react sometimes angrily towards the police, because in many jurisdictions the police force was created not necessarily to help in terms of policing, but the police force was created to protect them from us. And that's why the legacy of that still lives on today.
Which is unfortunate.
It is.
Last winter, I was taking a course as part of the Race Relations Certificate program, and it was called Discrimination and First Nations. That was the name of the course, and it was taught by a retired police commissioner. It was an online course. We were in COVID. And a lot of these statistics were included in the material, the course material in the textbook, and it brought a lot of things to light and was illuminating for me to understand and look at the root of where this is coming from and the disproportionate numbers. But I can say that I know some police forces, some municipalities are working towards a different perspective of community policing, where they're not there to create that divide of an us and them mentality and culture, but more of, we are here to be members of an extension of your community. So hopefully we'll see some changes in that.
I think it will, because we need the police as well as the police need us. And black people are not anti-police.
That's right.
It's just a manner in which the policing is done.
Yeah, the manner is so important. The how to be part of that community, because right now that discussion is happening in London, where the police are asking to be back in schools as resource officers, and you can hear the questions and the concerns coming up again. And it's the how. That's what people are asking about. You know, the how, or really should you be doing this?
That's right. And as EDI is such a hot corporate topic right now, most businesses or institutions or corporations or even services like the police force are including an EDI component and trying to look at things through an EDI lens and create training and awareness for their staff and employees. So hopefully there's more equitable lens serving our community.